Okay. Alright, let's get everything pulled up here and we'll show you guys. Alright, so tonight we're going to play a interesting one. I don't normally play. I've never really played like the aristocrat-y, like sacrifice style of decks. It's just not really me. It's not really what I like to play. But I like the idea of playing this Mardu deck. It plays a lot of cards that I've liked over the years individually, but never the decks they've been in. I really liked Rally the Ancestors back in the day and Zulaport Cutthroat, but that like four color rally deck that was in Standard was no fun. I really like Judith. I never really found a home for her when she was in Standard, and I really liked Hunted Witness. I played that in Boros Aggro. Mayhem Devil, Priest of Forgotten Gods, Cruel Celebrant, Woe Strider, all these are just really good cards. They're very synergistic. And Cartel Aristocrats a house. Grim Initiate was something that I played for a while in Standard. But this is just Mardu Aristocrats. It's all it is. It's pretty sweet. Like I just kind of like it's very similar to a list that they played on the Versus series a year or two ago. I don't really remember when, if I'm being honest. But deck looks really cool. I'm excited to play it. In the sideboard we have as removal spells we have Dreadbore, Rip Apart, and Fatal Push. All of those are they're all removal spells that have a lot of. They're just really good and they pose a lot of value. Rip Apart can double as enchantment or artifact removal. Noxious Grasp is for specific matchups like Mono Green Planeswalkers, Mono Green Midrange, like the Simic Stompy decks. Oh, excuse me. Thoughtseize is for anything kind of like I don't know, like grindy, like Niv Delight or a control deck, or just anything that you want Thoughtseize against. And then Soul Guide Lanterns are for any kind of like graveyard based interaction decks. So it looks pretty cool. I'm pretty interested to get into this if I'm being honest. Um, I've been really enjoying playing Pioneer. The last couple months here. So I really think that I'm gonna try and stick with it for a while, at least until I get bored and it like burns me or something like that. But it's been really fun. Like Pioneer as a format has really evolved. Oh, excuse me. It's really evolved and changed a lot. Just over like the year and a half that it's been a format. So I've really enjoyed watching it change and seeing what it's become. Another creature or planeswalker you control dies. Each opponent loses one life and you gain one life. So it's not even target. That's the one. That's like Mayhem Devil like being a target is pretty good because you can either clear the board with Mayhem Devil or you can go upstairs with Mayhem Devil. Cruel Celebrant's each opponent, which I guess has some kind of play if our opponent has hexproof or something like that. The really cool thing about this deck is all of it blocks and dies really well because of the way the thing sets up. Return each creature card with mana costs X or less from your graveyard to the battlefield. Exile each of the creatures beginning at your next upkeep. Exile Rally the Ancestors. Interesting. Alright, let's jump into our first match here. I'm excited to see what this is like. Our opponent has no companion. We're going to keep this hand. We have all three colors of mana, and we have multiple pieces of interaction, so Rally the Ancestors is really good, because if we can draw a sack outlet, we can really turn our deck on. Oh. Plus, the cool thing is that the creatures excuse me, will kind of just chip in over time, so like the creatures can just kind of chip in for points here and there over time. Okay, Overgrown Tomb? Thoughtseize. Alright, so this feels like some kind of Jund. Like Jundy, like rock, mid-rangey kind of thing. I don't know. I'm trying to think of what else leads on Overgrown Tomb Thoughtseize. I don't think anything. Not that I'm aware of. Ooh. Wonder what you take. Do you take Rally the Ancestors here, or do you take Hunted Witness? And probably Rally the Ancestors? Okay, yeah, makes sense. Grim Initiate's not bad. That allows us on turn 3 to double spell. Definitely going to play the Hunted Witness there instead of the Grim Initiate, because if we play Grim Initiate, we have to play the backside of our pathway, and that allows us to... Then we're stuck in a situation next turn where we can't play Cruel Celebrant if we want to, so... Goose. Alrighty. Fabled Passage. This feels like Jund's Sacrifice. Play Cruel Celebrant and say go. Yeah, definitely Jund Sac. I didn't know they played Thoughtseize in the main. I thought that was a sideboard choice. Our opponent keeps skipping to their second main phase, and I don't really understand why. Play this, and we're going to play our Grim Initiate. And then next turn, we have Judith into attack for a bunch. We're going to say go here. Because we could just attack, but then they're just going to block, so it's not going to matter. Probably going to create another... Oh, they don't have a green to create a food token with, actually. Just thought about that. That's interesting. Lord. Don't know what our opponent's doing. Maybe they're kicking themselves because they don't have black mana? Or because they don't have green mana to create a food there? I don't know. Black, black, red. And they're going to use a mana for Collected Company? What it feels like. Kalidas. Interesting. Alright, so obviously this is not Jund Sac. This is just Jund mid-range. We did not draw a very good matchup here. I mean, anything that's playing main deck Kalidas is... Kalidas turns off your triggers, don't forget. Yeah, that's like literally what I was thinking about. Is that I'm going to have to jam two things in front here. Unfortunately. And I'm not going to get anything from it. Which sucks, but it's okay. And I mean, if they don't do something dumb with this, if they don't do something dumb with the Kalidas here, we might never win because we don't really have, like, there's honestly just like not really ways to do anything. So they are playing Sac. They're just playing Kalidas in the main, which is interesting. Well, we're gonna play our Mayhem Devil. And then next turn we can play our Woe Strider and hopefully try to make something happen. Lord. Alright. So we can beat it. The opposing Devils. You love to see it, yeah. So I think we're just going to keep saying go here. Sure. If they ever sack anything to actually like do anything with it, we can actually just like do a bunch of stuff in response and then kill their Kalitas. Deals 1 damage to any target. Sacrifices a permanent. Okay. So we're going to have to use our Mayhem Devil to get this off the board. It's inevitable to get the Kalitas off the board here. Sack the goat. I mean, they get to kill a bunch of our stuff in response here too, but we have to get Kalitas off the board. We're not winning the game with it on the field, so. Oh, that's right, because Kalitas is a non-token creature. It doesn't matter. Yep, you can deal 1 there. We're going to scry that to the bottom. Yeah, the non-token creature thing kind of got me for a second, too. I mean, this sucks, but it's where we're at, unfortunately. Cutthroat is dying anyway. Yeah. Yeah, that's why I was sacking it. I was saving it for last. And they get 3 zombies out of this deal, but rally off the top. I don't think rally off the top even does anything here, does it? Do I want this? I don't think I want this. Yep, we lose Woe Strider. And then we're going to go after this and force them to... It does when you attack and bring it all back. Okay, yeah, fair enough. That makes sense. Then we get to scry. We definitely don't want to land. So if they sack something and they kill our thing here... Okay, cool. So if they kill our... Yeah, we're going to get to trade Mayhem Devils. Yeah. Oh, man. Finish what we started. And we're just going to start going upstairs with this stuff. Yep. Corvold is a tough scene, but not much we can do about it. Alright, we need something good here. Concealed Courtyard, Chief Call, that ain't it. So we can rally for 3 here, so we're just going to say go and hold it. They attack with the zombies. Woe Strider wins. Yeah, Woe Strider does win the game. Well, Woe Strider might win the game. I haven't counted. The 2 tokens are only 2 life. Judith's non-token creatures. So I'm not sure. Hang on one second. I'm gonna mute my mic. Carly's calling me here. All right. So we drew Mayhem Devil number 2 too late, which is okay. All right. We need to cut 4 cards here. I could have attacked and then escaped Woe Strider. Yeah, I could have done that. Let's see. I feel like this is one of those times you just need to shave cards. Like you don't want to like really like cut anything hard. Um, Cut a Hunted Witness, a Grim Initiate, cut an Aristocrat, and cut a Rally. I don't know. We'll just cut cards and see what we can do. This hand seems good. We'll keep this. Play God of the Shrine taps. I go. And then next turn we have Priest of the Forgotten Gods. And so I go. We're going to hold Rip Apart for something that matters here. Like, we just don't want to kill, like, anything they play. We want it to be relevant. We want to be able to snag something good with our Rip Apart. It's our only removal spell in our hand. Why does our opponent always play spells second main phase? I do not understand. Play Mayhem Devil. We're gonna attack here. We might as well. We're not doing anything else. No blocks, okay. I'm curious to see if they did block there, actually. Hopefully they slam, like, I don't know, like Mayhem Devil here, and we can just, like, insta-kill their Mayhem Devil with Rip Apart. Again, we're doing things after combat. I do not understand my opponent's logic, but Woe Strider's not bad. That's probably worthy of Rip Apart. Red White. Let's see what they do in response here. I'm curious to see, actually. Because if they sack it, I was like, if they sack anything in response, we just get the... So we're going to attack for 4 here, and then after combat, we're going to shock in a Sacred Foundry. No, we're going to shock in a Godless Shrine, and we're going to play Zulaport Cutthroat here. Deck plays more black cards than red cards, so better to have the extra black source on the field than the extra red source, because it was going to give us a 3rd white source either way. Not going to block. We're going to take 1 here. The Dread War was a good pickup. Was a really good pickup. Red, black. Yes. Play our Woe Strider. We're at 12, which isn't great, but we're going to serve it up here. Getting in for 5. We also have Zulaport Cutthroat as some life gain if we need it. I wasn't counting. Let's see. It's 2 points, 4 points, 6 points, 7 points. So yeah, not. Yeah, we could only done 7 that turn. We're going to sack the goat at the end of the turn here, no matter what happens to Scry. Okay. Corvold, yep. They get to sack a permanent, which is fine. Sack the pathway, I imagine. Put you to 9 with this. So we openly have 7 on board, which means... yeah, activate, sack this. We're just going to try and kill him here, because a good draw step wins us the game. Hunted Witnesses that good draw step. Do 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 do. We go to 5. We scry 1. Sure, Cartel Aristocrats fine. Sack. They go to 3. We scry 1. Sure, doesn't matter. Sack the priest. And then we get to sack the Zulaport because it sees itself and the Mayhem Devil. And we pick up the second game. Alright, cool. So the Dreadbore and the Rip Apart really came in handy that game. I don't really feel like this is a Thoughtseize matchup. We're either taking out our spells for Thoughtseize, our removal spells for Thoughtseize, or we're leaving in our removal spells. And I think playing reactive to the board is better than having to like pick one card from their hand. So we're gonna try it this way and see what happens. And I don't want to overboard. I'm just gonna leave in the 2 Dreadbores and the 2 Rip Aparts instead of bringing in like some Fatal Pushes too, just because I want to have. I don't want to like overload and not be able to like actually like apply the plan of our deck. There's 22 lands in this deck. I think on the draw this is fine. I mean, the best draw would be Blood Crypt here, obviously, but if that's not the play, that's not the play. We have 2 draw steps to draw a land in our 22 land deck, and I mean, honestly, we need to hit more lands than just 2, but alrighty. Gonna lead on Hunted Witness as I go. We drew Inspiring Vantage, which was really good because not only did we draw a second land, but we drew our 3rd color too. A goose? I think we're gonna lead on Priest here because if we have Priest and if they don't have a removal spell for our Priest here, Priest activation of Priest into Judith into Rally the Ancestors is insane. Honestly, activation of Priest with Cruel Celebrant into play next turn is insane. So we pretty much just get to like, I mean, Judith allows us to kill all of their board along with that. So we'd like to draw a land here. The good news is that Hunted Witness also leaves us with a creature. So yeah, we need to draw a land here. Land would be a really good draw step. Oh, good lord, good lord, good lord. Play their Mayhem Devil. So we're not going to attack here, or we're not going to block, because if we block with our Priest, they have the chance to use their Goose to sack the food to hit our Priest for 1. Really need to hit a land here. We can't even, like, add the double black to, like, really do anything with, which is a little unfortunate. Because if we had drawn a land, we could have played Cruel Celebrant. Well, no, then we could have played Judith, but I guess that wouldn't have really have mattered much. So we don't have a removal spell for this, so this spells trouble. Choosing number of target players. I don't know if that was the right play in response, but... So we get to make a 1/1. We drain and gain. They kill that. We add black, which is irrelevant. They lose 2 life, and they're going to sack their familiar here. And then kill our token. You draw a card off doing that? Wow, I did not realize that. If I'd have known that, I probably would have done that during my turn. Just to try and hit another land. Because that would have made any land or any like non-double colored permanent. I mean, maybe there's some crazy world where this game's not over. I highly doubt it. Like, 1 card in their hand. Knowing our luck, our opponent's last card is probably like Corvold or something, or like something crazy. Of course, if it was Corvold, they probably wouldn't have used that to do that with. The worst part is that we're not hitting lands like we're just not hitting lands or removal spells here, which is like worst case scenario. I stand by keeping the 1-lander on the draw with 22 lands. I feel like drawing 2 lands and 3 cards is not completely unreasonable. Yeah, I'm willing to block here. I mean, they can use the goose to make a food and then sack the food to get back the cat if they want to. That takes up their entire turn. 1 and 3 is average. Yeah, alright. Yep. GG's. I mean, we get a 3rd land on curve, we win that game. So if we get to untap Slam Judith, like on turn 3, if we hit a land and Slam Judith, we get to use all of our triggers to kill all of their stuff and then force them to sack their last creature, and then we're really just like sitting in a spot where like we have to like beat the Kalitas, which with only 1 creature in play we could have done. So I don't feel like that game was like one good draw step for us away from us winning that. So deck feels really good though. There was something I was thinking about. I mean, Priest doesn't seem that good. Maybe Priest could be something else. Like Priest seems okay. I don't know what else you'd play. Playing Footlight Fiend over that card does not seem good. I mean, I guess you could. It just doesn't seem like something you'd want to be doing. I don't know. Priest didn't seem that impressive. I feel like Priest of the Forgotten Gods is so good in the Jund list because you play so many things that make other threats. We have no lands, so we're gonna mulligan. This hand's better. We'll keep this. We'll keep this and put a Cruel Celebrant on the bottom. Why did people quit playing this? Why did people quit playing what? Jund Sack or this? Play the Butcher in that spot? Yeah, you could actually talk me into playing the Butcher in that spot, actually. Play 3 Dreadhorde Butcher instead of Priest. Yeah, that actually doesn't seem bad. Oh, is this Naya Winota? I don't know how we ever beat this matchup. We bring in 4 Thought Seizes and hope it's good enough. The good news is that our deck does block very well. So, I mean, that's promising for what we're trying to accomplish, I feel like. Because against a Naya Winota deck, there will be a lot of blocking. This isn't like when we're playing Burn, we just get a ton of removal spells. We're gonna have to block, unfortunately, quite a bit. I feel like. Thopter Engineer. We're setting up for quite a turn for Winota next turn. Okay. Play Woe Strider here. Oh, Elder's Evolution. Sure. Get rid of your only non-human creature. Our opponent had a very good draw. And I know the deck only has one function, but, like, still a very good draw for them. 3 triggers is pretty busted. Okay. I guess that makes more sense on why they're playing that card. I hate this deck. Yeah, I genuinely hate this deck with, like, every fiber of my being. So we're gonna take. So they get double strike, and what they deal. So we're gonna take. I'd rather Niv exist. I mean, honestly, me too. So we're taking 4/8 here. We're taking nothing there, and then. So 4/8, and then 10/12. Okay, I feel like this is fine. We're gonna do this. Scry 1. We don't feel like we want to land. Draining Gain. Make a guy. Scry 1 again. Cartel Aristocrat. That feels fine, I guess. Alright. So the question is, are we double spelling or are we playing the Mayhem Devil and trying to pick off a bunch of stuff? You know, a bunch of stuff is a stretch, but I guess we're going to double spell and go for it next turn. And we can block more stuff this turn and hope for a rally off the top to kill him with it. Rebel Master, okay. I mean, they're going to get a lot of hits here, so we're probably dead. Because we only have 5 blockers, but... And the chances of them finding something off the top are insane. So, like, I'm pretty sure that one alone is enough to kill us. Alright, we're just going to concede. There's nothing we can really do about this. Yeah, land off the top wasn't going to do it. Okay, so we want the 4 Thought Seizes here. Priest does not seem good. Cut a rally. Gonna be honest, I feel like we just kind of want to bring in this stuff too. Like, I could be wrong. I don't know. Maybe it's too much. But let's bring in a Dreadborn or Rip Apart and cut 2 of these and try it. We can't keep this hand. As much as I'd like to, we just can't. This hand's a lot better. We can keep this. Isn't Grasp really good? Noxious Grasp? I mean, I think the only green things they play are the 1-drops. That and Voice of Resurgence, so I mean, I guess it could be. But Cartel Aristocrat. White? Oh, it's green or white, isn't it? Oh, yeah. I didn't think about that. Yeah, it seems pretty good, actually. I'm just so used to that card being for one thing. Well, we're going to take Rest in Peace here because we need it. Or we can't really do anything about it. And I guess we could rip apart, like we could rip it apart, but I don't think I'd rather just take it, not have to worry about it. Oh. Llanowar Elves, okay. Well, we're going to take the more greedy line, try to keep him off of mana here. It's a little aggressive, but we're going to try and go for it. I mean, they may have already drawn another land. Have to say I'm surprised they didn't draw another land, if I'm being honest. There it is. Dragonfire that. Okay, sure. Play Judith and say go. I mean, maybe there was some consideration to playing the Mayhem Devil there so that they have to use it accordingly. So that they have to be careful with their food token, but... Okay. I mean, sure. I'm okay with this, like, amounting my board kind of thing. Yep, take 2. You got it, buddy. I'm at 10. Well, we're keeping them off lands. I mean, kind of. No. White-black. And we're going to serve it up. Okay. Take 6, go to 10. If they use their food this turn, we get to deal damage to something, which is, I mean, really good for us, so. Eldritch Evolution? We're gonna go upstairs because I don't know what else we're doing with it, so. It's Eldritch Evolution or Goblin Rabble Master here. Doctor Engineer? Okay, just kidding. It was neither. I lied. We're just gonna serve it up, force them to block. Mass for blockers. If this is what they're doing, this is fine. Hey, baby. Okay. So we're gonna kill the Archon here. Draining Gain, and we're gonna play Judith number 2 here. There could be some argument to playing the Grim Initiate there and then playing Judith next turn to pump up and get in for a bunch, but it seems worth if I'm being honest. Play Hunted Witness, play the Grim Initiate. We know the cards in their hand. Okay. I mean, that's fine, because they physically have to, like, take one to do that if that's what they're wanting to do. And I think it's just safe to push with the two schmoes that make a body here. Because they're either taking 4 or we gain 2 and they lose 2. So. Okay. Take 4, sure. We're going to hold on to the land here just to make him think about it a little bit. We haven't really had any sacrifice synergies this game, which is a little unfortunate, but I guess knowing that they're going to cast Eldritch Evolution, we could have just went for the... We could have just killed the Voice of Resurgence, and then they couldn't have attacked with the token. That was wrong. That was just, like, straight up wrong. But we ended up getting the win anyway. Noxious Grasp. Okay, is this better than Rip Apart or Dreadbore? Or Planeswalker that's green or white. You gain 1 life. Okay, so I think the fact that this is instant speed plays better than Rip Apart or Dreadbore. Maybe this is a matchup where we just want to keep all of their stuff off the board. Like, it's possible that we just want to, like, I don't know. We know they're playing Rest in Peace. All right, we're going to leave in 1 Rally the Ancestors just in case, and we're going to bring in more removal spells. I don't know if this is right or not, but... This hand seems fairly good. Wonder if they kept their 7. Yep. Yeah, we're going to keep this. Needs a lucky draw step or two, but wasn't exactly the kind of draw steps I was talking about. But Thoughtseize should help us out here some. Okay. Well. Unless they drew something to do, they did draw a 3-drop. Okay. No, but it's worth 2 life for them to serve up 1 here. Okay. Drawing another land wasn't exactly what we had in mind, but we're just going to go ahead and do this now. Killing the Voice of Resurgence isn't something I like to do, but I actively try to avoid it if possible. Rest in peace, yep. And that's why we cut our Rally the Ancestors. We were worried about that. Now, unfortunately, the problem here is that it turns off our Judith triggers. I believe Rest in Peace does. Should. I didn't know these people were playing Rest in Peace, though. Wow, and they had Winota on curve. All right, man. Like, your draws were pretty good. I mean, my God, this is terrible. They've drawn really well, and we've drawn very poorly. We're going to play Sacred Foundry tapped here. We're going to say no, go, because Mayhem Devil does trade with Winota, so. It's like, need them to not have Kenrith here. We're going to serve it up. Play this. Playing Inspiring Advantage tapped. Has to come into play tapped, so might as well. Alright. Well, our opponent drew really well until they didn't. So, cool. Carly got home, so I'm gonna take like a little short break here, probably like 5 minutes. Go see her and talk to her, and we'll come back. We'll finish out the league. Thanks for hanging out tonight, guys. All right. All right, so we're 1-1 with our Mardu Aristocrats deck. We're back for round 3 here. Hopefully we can... I'm missing a land. Chad, I've lost a land. Uh-oh, there it is. The cards that I shuffle are 3 Ramunap Ruins and 3 Abbot of Carol Keeps. And so I thought I lost one of my Ramunap Ruins. But it was just on the floor. All is averted. I'm not gonna lie, really, like the deck's been a lot of fun. Probably some changes that could be made at a deeper glance. So, like the priest, I like Joseph's thought of instead of running priest, running Dreadhorde Butcher, which seems really good. This hand seems like it needs some help, but we're gonna try it. We'll keep this. This the black one, yep. Okay, so we're gonna lead on Sacred Foundry into Hunted Witness, and then we'll see what happens from there. Our opponent's on 6. Sacred Foundry, Hunted Witness. Like, looking at that screams 2 things to me. One, somebody's playing some Aristocrat deck, or somebody's playing Boros Aggro. Vessel of Nascency. Is this the combo deck? Man, this deck's going to be really tough to beat. No. Then we're going to play Grim Initiate, and we're going to attack for 1 and say go. Mayhem Devil next turn will be pretty good. Maybe this is Ramp. I think Ramp played that card for a while. Hopefully we get to get away with playing our... playing our Mayhem Devil there before they do it, and we get a point in. Yeah, we did it. I was like, oh, they're not doing it. Oh, okay. That's weird. Wonder why they didn't do it. An enchantment, land, or planeswalker card. Yeah. Oh, alright, this is weird. I am, how you might say, big confused. Play Judith. Crack in for a bunch here. I have no idea what our opponent's doing. Just honestly. We're going to play the Blood Crypt tapped here. Even if they... Ha 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 ha. And we're going to say go. Even if they manage to, like, kill everything somehow. Alright, what'd they hit? And they concede. Alright. I think our opponent's playing Ramp, if I'm being honest. This feels like the blue-green Ramp deck. I think we're just going to bring in Thought Seizes here. Bring in Thought Seizes. We'll cut a Rally. Or actually, you know what? We're just going to cut all of our priests here. Yeah, we're just going to try it like this. I don't know a lot about this deck, if I'm being honest. We're going to mulligan this. This hand's a lot better. We will keep this. Put back Aristocrat. We have Thoughtseize and the Cruel Celebrant, so we're going to keep a Tomb with Ether. Get a forest. At least I imagine it's a forest. Having another Thoughtseize is pretty solid. This allows us to take their early play, which is Rogue Refiner. We're definitely taking that. They have 5 cards in hand. We know about the forest. I drew a Tomb with Ether. Okay. Maybe they're playing Marvel? Maybe this is like some kind of like Marvel deck? We're going to play Cruel Celebrant, and then next turn we'll play Thoughtseize and Zulaport Cutthroat. We are notably missing red mana, but there aren't a lot of things to punish us. Puts one card on the bottom. I mean, Judith is okay. All right, I take that back. There's not many things to punish us as a lie. All right, I feel like we got a pretty early concession there from our opponent, but we're gonna roll with it. We take the free ones where we can get them. We're 2-1. That was a weird matchup. We played a Thoughtseize and a 2-mana 1/2, and our opponent conceded. So yeah, I don't really know what to say about that one. Yeah, even looking at the sideboard, like I don't know. I don't really know what I would change aside from like I mean in the main I'd be interested to try this list again with Butcher, with Dreadhorde Butcher instead of Priest, and I think you need everything else. Like everything else seems super relevant. I don't know, but hopefully it doesn't take too long to find a match here. They've changed something on Facebook and now things are in different places. They keep changing stuff on me. I can't find the new stuff. Not that it's like a terribly big deal or anything. It's just a mild inconvenience. Nobody wants to watch College Rocket League. Oh, we found a match. How's your KFC? So this hand's really good. We're gonna keep this. We don't have white mana, which is not good for Rally the Ancestors, but it plays everything else in our hand. So we're gonna try this. And we play like 13 white sources. Like we play a very high number of white sources, so we're gonna serve up one, then we're gonna play Priest. I don't know what our opponent's playing, but Shocking and Hallowed Fountain is, I mean, probably means it's Spirits or it's blue-white control, and our opponent really wanted to opt. It's got to be Spirits because our opponent is really debating upon whether they want to flash in the, whether they're wanting to flash in Spectral Sailor or not to block with. Which I don't understand because my card has First Strike. Yeah, now flashing your Spectral Sailor. Now the only question is whether they're playing Bant or just blue-white. Okay, still appears to just be blue-white. So we get to sack our guys, make 2 more dudes. Well, we get to make 1 guy, which I kind of forgot about, if I'm being honest. I forget that amass 1 is not really... And we're going to play Mayhem Devil, and then next turn we have Woe Strider. So we can try to we can either start picking off the board, or we can start... You know, next turn we could rally for 1. We could sack and just start rallying. We're not far from being able to do that, honestly. Yeah, we're going to 6 here, which is going to allow them to put it in for 4. They could have rattle chains here. They could have Spectral Sailor. I mean, there's a lot of things they could have here. Yep. So we're going to target you. We're going to sack this and sack this. Spectral Sailor. Okay. Which means they're going to sack the Spectral Sailor, which is fine. When they sacrifice the Spectral Sailor, we're going to use our Mayhem Devil trigger to kill the Empyrean Eagle. Or if they sack the Eagle, we're going to use the Mayhem Devil trigger to kill the Spectral Sailor. Either way, it's 2 for 1 here. Getting a lot of value off of, we were just talking about how, I was just talking about how I didn't think Priest was that good, but it's really carrying its weight here. So we're going to 7 here, but they have to have like 2 lords here, I think. Ooh, collected company's not good. Yep, we're going to take 2 and go to 5. So if they hit double lord here, it gets +4 and goes to 6, and then we go to 1. So there's no way for us to die here, right? Which means next turn, sorry, this is kind of one of those weird ones. Yeah, we're just going to let this happen and go to 1 here. So this is weird. Trying to make sure I do this right. They go to 8, they sack one of these things. X is currently 3. And this should just be game, unless I'm mistaken here. This should be like a ton of points. Alright, so sack this. Hit you for 1. Scry, sure. Yeah, our opponent should... wish our opponent would concede here. Yep, alright, opponent concedes. For what it's worth there, though, we actually have to sack the amass token and then sack the other Grim Initiate, or we just end up with a 2-2 instead of 2 tokens to do it that way. Alright. Noxious Graphs seems really good to interact with. And Dreadbore, unconditional removal is what I like against this deck. I think we're just gonna bring in the 4 spells, cut a couple rallies, and cut a Cartel Aristocrat. Cut a couple of those and try this. Everything else like gains us life in some way or removes their creatures, so we wanna keep as much stuff as we can that actually affects their side of the board or gives us life. This hand's good. We'll keep this. Our opponent mulligans, which is, I mean, automatically good. Like, don't get me wrong, not having a removal spell or something to do here isn't great, but we can try to pick off their board with Mayhem Devils, with Mayhem Devil, so. Our opponent's on 6. We're going to lead on Hunted Witness and say go. I don't think there's anything they're going to play for a single white here. Definitely would have led on Island. It would have at least made me think about my decisions a little bit. So that was the one draw step that punishes us for not playing our Sacred Foundry last turn. Which I'm going to be honest, wasn't really something I was even thinking about. Well, I guess if we had Fatal Push, we would have already played it, so. They've definitely got Spell Queller here. There's no way they don't play something if they didn't have Spell Queller. So we're going to run out another Grim Initiate here. Play this and say go. Actually, we're going to attack here. See if they're forcing, like, flashing a blocker or something. Just going to take 2. Okay. Rattle Chains. Okay. And that's the unfortunate thing about that, about the way that the Watcher of Spheres works, is that they can have multiple, they can have Rattle Chains and Spell Queller. And this is going to be a race. Attack for 3, and then we're going to play Woe Strider. Play Woe Strider. Definitely going to Spell Queller this one. We probably lost this game. They probably have a Lord in hand, and they're just going to like dome us for 10 next turn. Because Lord pumps up everybody, and then it pumps up the Watcher twice. Yep. Oh, they have 2 Lords. Alright, cool. Thanks for playing. Yep, I mean, that's kind of like the opposite end of what can happen against that deck. I think we want to leave stuff the way it is, and, you know, just kind of try to I don't know. Rally seems really good, actually. I mean, like, some number of rally is really good, especially like late game, like when we're needing to try to go for something. I'll keep this hand. Our opponent takes a mulligan. Okay, that's a good start for us. Our opponent's a creature deck. They're a creature deck that is trying to assemble like mass threats. So anytime they mulligan, it's immediately better for us because that means that's one less creature we have to deal with. Leading on a white source both times is quite interesting in my opinion. We're going to play Cruel Celebrant, so next turn we can play Zulport Cutthroat and Hunted Witness. Yeah, Watcher of the Spheres. Removal spell? Nope. And we're going to play Hunted Witness. Not having a removal either time for the Watcher has been really bad. Okay, so our opponent's going to play stuff before combat here. At least they're thinking about it. I was like, it's got to be a Lord if they're going to play stuff before combat like this. All right, we need to draw a removal spell here. And a Shacklegeist, okay. Well, we have no sack outlet. We're probably just going to lose this game. Like, our hand is just not worked out in any way. I mean, maybe we just want more removal spells? Like, maybe we just want all of our removal spells to, like, be able to push stuff and, like, be able to, like, rip apart things, like... We're going to use Shacklegeist to tap down our Mayhem Devil here. Not that it's relevant in any way, but... Supreme Phantom, is that 4/8/11? Yeah, it's lethal on the board. Alright, well, that was an unfortunate couple of games there. We just didn't have any interaction. We didn't have anything to do. Alright, Moto shit itself, and it's not going to let us draw another card. So, our 2 wins have been 2-0, but our 2 losses have been in 3 games, which makes the deck feel promising. Maybe a couple of tweak here or there, or maybe I sideboard in a better way a couple times, and maybe we're 4-0 right now. So, it's hard to tell, like, where we should be at or what we should be doing. I was going to flip over and talk about the deck for a second, but we've already found our last match. And I'm excited to play it because we have Warzone coming up after this. Well, I think we have Warzone coming up after this. Never actually played Warzone, so let me rephrase. I've never played this Warzone. Or maybe it's all the same. I don't know. Maybe I've played it once. All right, so I think we keep this and put a Woe Strider back and hope this works out. We're on 6 cards already. We're on the draw. There's 22 lands in our deck. 14 of them produce black. So our worst draw steps here are, I mean, anything that's not a land, obviously, or... Alright, that's not a land. Alright, deck. We're going to need a black land right here. preferably concealed courtyard. Godless Shrine will do also. We're going to play Hunted Witness. Opponent will probably... Nope, no censor here. Okay, well, we got away with one there. Cycle censor. I mean, yeah, like, we got away with one there. Like, you take what you can get. Oh, it's Esper. Interesting. Go ahead and play Zolaport Cutthroat and see what they do. I'm going to be honest, I don't really know what Esper control looks like in Pioneer, so... Exile target monocolored card. That's not good. Not only do we not get the body here, they at least have to take one off removing that, which is fine with me. Is this Kaya? Oath of Kaya? Cycle a Shark Typhoon. Means they're looking for a land? They don't have a land. Interesting. So I'm actually going to play Priest here. Because even if we don't draw a land here, we can go Grim Initiate into sacrifice. Ooh, man, they're looking for a land bad here. Okay. We can go, so even if we don't draw a land here, puts one card on top, which means they found a land. We can go tap our Sacred Foundry for Grim Initiate, because they don't have Counterspell Magic up here. We're going to attack. They're probably going to block because they see the writing on the wall this time around. And then after this, we get to play our Woe Strider. I mean, that's fine. Like, we need the mana as it is anyway, so they lose 2 life. We draw a card. We get to play Zolaport Cutthroat and Hunted Witness, which I'm not going to lie, I really like. Drawing Hunted Witness was actually a really good draw step there because it allowed us to play everything. Next turn, if we can hit untap land, we have Judith into Blammo. Yeah, let those all resolve. I think we're going to play that on the black half. It still pumps our creature. Like, we don't get a trigger when it dies, but we still get to pump our creature, which is pretty solid. And then next turn we have Cruel Celebrant, depending on what they do here. Means they're out of blue mana. I mean, they have to have a blue source here, but they can still... I mean, they're probably looking for, like, blue source Supreme Verdict here. Which is fine, because even if they do that, they take 1 and go to 5 here. Not to mention if they have to shock in a land. That sucks. Oh, did you find it? There's a good chance they found Supreme Verdict here. Put you to 5. No! Okay. Undo yield through this turn. Attack for 1. White, black. So now if they manage to kill our board, they have to take 2. Teferi, okay. Plus, that's interesting. I'm not gonna lie, I don't really know what that means. I don't really know what that means, like they're foretelling here that they have. Not literally foretelling, because that is a mechanic in Magic now. So we're gonna attack them and see what they do. Maybe they're making a 1/1 shark here to block with. I really hope they don't have absorb here, which they do. Immediately they play it. That sucks. We're going to play the land because next turn we can escape Woe Strider. Is it Shark Typhoon? Because it's not another Teferi, I know that. Untapping their lands very quickly. Cycle a Sensor, okay. Untap their lands here. Interesting. Okay. Go to 3. And we're going to cast this because we want to be able to keep our, like, if we draw Rally the Ancestors, we want to keep every card we have in our graveyard. Because, I mean, Rally the Ancestors right now is just, like, the nuts. Like, it's insane. Like, is this another Absorb? Yeah, man. Your mother never loved you, did she? I mean, anybody that's willing to play basic Swamp in an Absorb deck, like, you are wildly greedy. Like, and that's coming from me. Like, I do greedy shit all the time when I play Magic. I don't know what our opponent's debating doing here. They're going to dig through time at the end of the turn. I mean, I guess the only good thing that comes from them absorbing our stuff there is that it leaves us open to they have less counter spells for when we do draw into like drawing a rally right here probably just ends the game. Unless they have another absorb, which it appears they do. Hopefully we draw a rally here so we can attack and then like wait for them to do something. I think we can't hold out any longer for Rally the Ancestors, so I think we're just going to have to play Woe Strider from our graveyard and force them to have another counter spell. Like if they have a third absorb, like it's not crazy unlikely that they have a third absorb, but all right, well, cut Priest, cut Initiate, cut Hunted Witness. And they get to make a 3/3 here. I mean, having 3 absorbs is just kind of ridiculous. I just cannot fathom playing absorb in that deck. Like playing absorb in that deck is extremely greedy. So let's see here. Cards that we priest seems bad. We probably want Cartel Aristocrat just to try and push through damage. Rally's our best card. These play around sweepers. I guess we'll cut a Mayhem Devil here, which is weird to say. We can't keep this hand. Our lands have been very inconsistent tonight. They've been all over the place, honestly. So we're going to keep this and put a Mayhem Devil on the bottom. And we're going to lead on Hunted Witness. And then we're going to play Zulaport Cutthroat. Or we're going to play Cruel Celebrant. It's kind of 6 in one basket, half a dozen in the other kind of thing. Black, white, and then next turn we have Initiate, and we have Zulaport Cutthroat. Which kind of makes all of our sweepers, which makes all of their sweepers kind of pointless. And Fatal Push that. Yep. 18 to 21. Yes. Play Initiate. Play Zulaport Cutthroat. Attack for 1. Now that is the one thing about this deck, is that it's more of a combo deck than anything, because it doesn't really, like, the creatures don't really pack a lot of punch by themselves. So the only thing that would truly be backbreaking here would be like a Drown in Sorrow effect that exiles. I can't remember what's called. Cry the Carnarium. Drawing a 5th land is not good. Our two insurance our 2 insurance cards against board sweepers are both gone now, which sucks. I would have liked to have drawn like a Woe Strider there. Honestly, like another Cutthroat or Cruel Celebrant would have been great. Cartel Aristocrat would have been a good draw. Like, there was a lot of good draw steps there. Puts a card on the bottom with their Scry. That's promising. And even if they do have a sweeper here, it doesn't really do anything. Alright, drawing lands is not where we need to be at. We'd really like to draw, like, I mean, anything that adds to the board is good here. Like, I'd even settle for a Thoughtseize this late in the game. Like, would have liked one earlier, but I can't help but feel that this is going to be a 2 and 3 league, unless we happen to draw into something pretty good here. Like, unless they just keep drawing, like, if they're drawing dead and we draw gas, then sure. But then and only then. Yep, Cycle Sensor. Vanishing Verse is really good. Probably going to slam Teferi here, honestly. Yep, start drawing some cards. Your life total's not really under any pressure. I mean, Woe Strider something. Gonna attack our opponent here, and then we're gonna play Woe Strider. Okay. We're going to hold the land. We're going to sack the goat to scry 1 no matter what happens here. The Supreme Verdict. No, Grim Initiate is not it, Chief. Let this happen. We get out of here with a 1-1, which isn't that bad. Draw something good, please. I mean, Wolf Strider number 2 is fine, like, barring they don't have a counter spell here. Okay. I mean, we're making something happen here. They have a... Yep, that's unfortunate. I mean, the goat's pretty much worthless now, but... We're just going to 6. There's nothing we can do here. I mean, Hunted Witness, like, ain't it, Chief? We've drawn, like, all of our 1-drops. Like, we've scried Grim Initiate to the bottom. Like, it's been a lot of bad draws here. Make a big shark here. Block our token. I would love to have Rally the Ancestors right here to make our opponent cry. But there is no justice in the world. So we're going to play this and say go. Well, like I said, we're going to finish 2-3. Our opponent's even doing things and letting us tap out. Like, they're even tapping out. Alright. Jesus Christ. Our opponent's had 4 removal spells and a sweeper this turn, or this game, so, I mean... Yep, we're 17. Like, they're at 6. I mean, Cartel Aristocrat is, like, medium at best at this point. Absorb, we're going to concede here. Alright, well, that was unfortunate. The deck played really well until the last match, and then we drew like shit, and our opponent drew really well. That's supposed to be a really good matchup. Any control deck, like Aristocrats, is supposed to throttle it. Yeah, like we have so many ways to continue to add to the board, and we have so many ways that protect us from their sweepers. It was just really unfortunate the way that game played out. We didn't draw any hand disruption. We didn't draw really anything. We went 2-3 with the deck, but I'm gonna be honest. There were so many turns when like one draw step was like really the difference between like us winning the whole match and us losing the whole match. So as far as changing things go, I'd probably cut the Priest of Forgotten Gods and play 3 Dreadhorde Butcher in that spot. I feel like everything else is set up well. I feel like I just sideboarded wrong a couple times tonight. Like for instance, against the Spirits matchup, I probably should have brought in all of my removal spells against Spirits instead of just bringing in like the 4 that I did and just trying to like play my game plan. I probably should have just brought in 3, 5, like 9 spells and just cut Rally and just like really just like started cutting stuff just to have more interaction. But oh well, live and you learn. So gonna take a small break here, 5 or 10 minutes, and then when we come back, we're gonna be playing some Warzone or we're gonna be playing Cold War, one way or the other, either way. So thanks for hanging out tonight, guys.